Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we will try to learn big data and its some of the concepts. So in previous class we understood what are the different types of data, like structured data, semi-structured data and unstructured data. In this class we will try to learn what are the different sources of big data. So let's start. So the two major sources of big data are computer generated data and human generated data. So what are these? Computer generated data, it is a data that is generated automatically with minimum human intervention and mainly with the help of the computer system. I repeat, it's generated with minimum human intervention and mainly with the help of the computer system. So we will clarify this with some of the examples like sensor data, astronomical data, meteorological data, security camera, RFID tags. So let's take an example. Security camera. The security cameras are installed in our apartments, in our offices, in our buildings, in malls, everywhere. So they are switched on 24/7, so they used to capture lots of data and without any human intervention. They are installed on their own in many securities point. So they capture the data and keep it in some kind of compact disk, in chipset, in chips, in hard disk or hard disk. So these are the data that does not require any particular human intervention. Similar kind of data you can see sensor data. If you take an example, if you're going into a mall, there are a lot of sensors in every shopping complex. So they are capturing the data and storing somewhere. So these are the data that hardly requires an human intervention. Once it has been installed, it will keep on tracking the data and storing it. So such kind of data are called computer generated data. So what is human generated data then? Data generated by computer system but due to direct intervention by human being. So there is a point. Data generated by computer system but due to direct intervention by human being. Direct intervention by human being means this data also get generated by computer system only, but human has some interference in generating such kind of data. For example, bank transaction, social networking site and medical records. So what is an example? What is the example for this one? If you see a social networking site, whenever we log into the Facebook, we used to write a comment, we used to post something. So there are different kinds of activity that is being done by a human. So such kind of data is called human generated data. Similarly for bank transaction, until unless you can't trigger any banking transaction, it will not execute. So you have to trigger it, you have to add a beneficiary, you have to enter all their values, then this such kind of data get generated. So such concept is called human generated data. Why big data is a buzzword? Because 90% of this data is generated in past few years, and this data cannot be fitted into the RDBMS system. So why this data cannot be fitted into RDBMS system? The answer is most of this data are unstructured, and RDBMS system cannot handle unstructured data. So this is why big data has evolved in recent few years, because a lot of data has been generated in the past few years and the RDBMS system is incapable of handling a huge amount of data because of its you can say schema, because of its build pattern, that it will hold only the structured data. It cannot hold unstructured data. So what is the crux of big data? Data is interesting as we have technology to mine it. New essence and values are emerging out of this data, and the new business emerged due to such a huge data. So the idea of the complete big data is that we have a lot of data to mine it. We have a lot of data to find something out of it, and once we find something, it is of some business values. And this data is infused, some business values occurs, and we have lot of opportunities. This data is providing a lot of opportunity for us in the future. So what are the big advantages of big data? Economical, efficient, and quicker. Actually there are 3 V's, 5 V's, 7 V's, but here we will try to learn only 6 V's. So what are these 6 V's? Volume. Volume means a lot of data is generated every day. We all know what is volume. Huge amount of data. Velocity, rate at which data is being generated. Variety, text, photographs, videos, sensor data, web logs. These are the varieties of big data. Veracity, uncertainty of the data. Uncertainty of the data means we don't know this data is important to us or not. A huge amount of data is generated. Let's go back to our previous example of security cameras. A lot of data is generated every day, but we need a data from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Suppose we are in a shopping complex and a lot of theft happening in between these two time intervals. So we are generated in this part of the data. We are we don't have any issue regarding other timing. So it means all those data are not important for us. So this is the uncertainty of the data. So we are not sure whether this data is important to us or not. Variability, inconsistency in the rate at which data is generated. Inconsistency in the sense that the speed of data at which it is generated is varying. Suppose we have Facebook, Twitter, etc. So in India a lot of data is getting generated during the daytime, but the rate at which data is getting generated in the night time, normally from 1 a.m. in the night to 4 a.m. it's very less. So this is the variability, this is the inconsistency, the rate at which data is getting generated. And the final is value. That is very important. What you are getting out of this data. The output should be worth for investment, because all the business line, all the products are focusing on this value. If they are getting value, then there will be some investment, otherwise there will not be any investment. So where to use big data? Financial services, retail, healthcare. Financial services, I guess you people are already gone through many examples like credit card default, fraud detection, personalized banking service. You may get a call that we are offering, you are seeing this kind of pattern, we are offering you credit card, we are offering you some different kinds of personal loans. So this based on some kind of analytics they have done on basis of your data of your previous interaction with the bank. Healthcare, disease detection like cancer detection. I guess you all have heard about IBM Watson, how they use a huge set of data and mine it and do an analytics on top of it and predict the cancer probability. Similarly, you can rate your annual health expenses also, how much is your expenses, and on basis of this you can find out what will be your annual health expenses. Other big data use cases are consumer pattern recommendation system. I think in YouTube videos you can see how the recommendation system works. If you see a video, similar type of video can occur. Similarly, if you are buying something from Amazon or Flipkart, similar kind of products are shown by them, and you can see things like consumer who bought this has also bought that kind of product. So these are the few of the use cases of big data. Then what is the challenges of big data? It's the storage and processing. We will try to understand what are the challenges regarding storage and processing and what is the solution in our later videos. We will see what is big data and RDBMS, why they fought with each other, why RDBMS system does not sort out the big data challenge, and the question number 1, where big data need to compromise. So these are the few questions that came into our mind when we are going through big data concepts, because we already have an RDBMS system. So why RDBMS system does not sort out the big data challenge? This is the first question. And if we have a big data, what things we need to compromise? So it's more like an advantage and disadvantage in this case. So we'll see first of all what are the benefits of RDBMS system. Consistency. I think if anyone who has gone through the RDBMS concept know about consistency, acid properties, normal form, normalized form. If you go see RDBMS system, the schema is defined perfectly and its performance is awesome. So some of the example of RDBMS system are MySQL, Oracle, Teradata. So the benefits of RDBMS system are consistency. The schema is defined properly. So it means if you are creating a table of employee, you already define ID. ID should be a number. Employee name should be a string. Salary should be a number. You can also give it should not be increase. You can have some check values. There should be also some primary key on top of an ID. So such kind of things you can define it properly in terms of RDBMS system, and its performance is mind-blowing. Its performance is awesome. Just a little bit about RDBMS system background. Data is divided into a schema, and each schema has multiple of tables and views. Each table has rows and columns, and there will be some relationship across different tables. So if we have an RDBMS system, we can divide an RDBMS system on the basis of schemas, and a schema has multiple of tables and views, and these tables have primary key, some constraint on null values, kind of things will be there, and there are few tables that can connect it to each other via foreign key. So there is multiple of relation that can be built in RDBMS system. It's just an background. What is RDBMS system? So what is the drawbacks of RDBMS system? Scalability. It overshadows the other benefits that are being offered. So we will try to understand scalability in terms of two things: vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. Mind it, this is very important. In vertical scaling, we need to add more RAM and CPU to a single machine. We need to add more RAM and CPU to a single machine means, if we suppose we have a laptop and its final capacity, maximum capacity is 16 GB RAM, but we have bought when we bought it, it has 8 GB of RAM, so we can increase it to 12 GB, 16 GB, but it has some capacity that it can't be increased after 16 GB RAM. But in that is called vertical scaling. In this way we can understand it. Well, in horizontal scaling, it's like we can add multiple of laptops and they are interconnected to each other, and everyone can do can divide a job into different parts and do some processing. So this is the difference between vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. So if you have watched Avengers, if you can see there's only one Hulk. Hulk is muscular, built, has a strong build, but he's a single person. But if you watch Iron Man 4, Iron Man can be multiple. He can be thousands of Iron Mans are there. So each can do some little bit of work. So this is the comparison that we can sort out. Whatever we can come out of RDBMS system and the big data systems. You can see the image Hulk versus Iron Man. So what is the drawbacks of RDBMS system? Vertical scalability, it can cause performance drop down, and scalability is limited. It means there is no scope for horizontal scalability. So only the vertical scalability is available in the RDBMS system, and once we have a large data to process, the performance will degrade, will drop down. Thank you for watching this video. Thanks a lot.